I just write the shot?
Nope, that's all right. I'll get it anyways.
The Senator is telling me if you're a stakeholder in the industry, an activist, you're welcome to join us up here as well. We certainly need all the help we can get. Okay. You ready? Good morning, everyone. I am State Senator Bruce Tarr, the Minority Leader of the Massachusetts Senate, and I proudly lead the leadership of the Port of Gloucester in the State Senate, along with my colleague, State Representative Ann Margaret Ferranti. And we are here today for very serious business. We're here today because the fishing industry is being directly threatened by federal mismanagement that has the ability to extinguish the commercial fishing industry as we know it in the near term. We're joined, in addition to our special guest, United States Senator Scott Brown, by a number of important folks who have been active, very active, in fighting the fight to keep our commercial fisheries alive and sustainable for the working men and women that go from this port and ports all up and down the coast every day, not only to provide support for their families, but to provide a food resource, a precious food resource for the people of these United States. We're joined today, certainly, by Gloucester's Mayor, Carolyn Kirk, who is here with us and has been critically active in leading the city at every turn in legal challenges, in lobbying, in advocacy to say that we can't go down the path of destruction that we're on. She's supported by a tremendous group of city councilors, many of whom are here today, including Bruce Toby, who is right here. Let's give him a round of applause and thank him for being with us. We also have Ann Mulcahy, who I know is up here right behind me, right here. We have Bob Wynot. We have Paul McGeary. We have Steve Kukuru. We have Joe Scialino. And we're going to hear in just a little while from City Council Vice President Safathi Romeo, but we can give her a round of applause right now. We also have from the City of Gloucester School Committee, again, showing the depth of support and the concern that people have in this community, our school committee woman, Kathy Clancy. Kathy is up here somewhere. And we have other stakeholders as well. Someone who has joined us from the Port of New Bedford, formerly in the fishing industry. Someone who worked very hard in the New England Fisheries Management Council to try to get sound management policies, and who now advocates for the industry day in and day out, Jim Kendall from the Port of New Bedford. We also have former city councilor and former executive director of the Gloucester Fisheries Commission, former executive director of the Massachusetts Fisheries Recovery Commission, and now Scott Brown's chief advocate for the commercial fishing industry, Vito Calamo. And from the American Alliance of Fishermen, someone who is no stranger to this port and no stranger to the fight to keep our commercial fisheries alive, we have Tina Jackson from the American Alliance of Fishermen. I also want to recognize, he just wandered out in from the distance here, but from the Northeast Seafood Coalition, the chairman of the Government Affairs Committee, we have Vito Gigaloni with us. Vito, thank you for stopping by. So we've got a crisis. And the most recent report that was issued by the Woods Hole Science Center documents what people in this port and people up and down the coast have known for the last several years. That we are on a road to the progressive destruction of the commercial fishing industry and our working ports. When you read that report, it documents the progressivity of this situation and the fact that we are in a steady decline, not made by a lack of resource, not made by people who are unwilling to go to sea and work hard and risk their lives and provide food for this country, but made by the federal government, made by a group of managers who are unresponsive to the need to balance conservation with the sustaining of working ports, because that's why we manage fisheries, to be able to provide food to the people of this country. Time after time, we've made our appeals. We've talked to bureaucrats who have come to the city, and we've proven to them that we're willing to conserve, but to do it in a sustainable way. We've offered science. We've offered evidence of the negative impacts that their mismanagement is having on our families. And yet, the response has been nearly silent and certainly unaffected. Now we're confronted with a bureaucrat at the top of NOAA who is truly an architect of disaster. And that disaster is unfolding before our eyes. The Woods Hole Science Report documented the loss of somewhere between 21 and 25 boats out of a Gloucester fleet that before the implementation of cat shares had in excess of 100 vessels. I'm not a mathematician, but it doesn't take one to understand that at that rate of attrition, at that rate of decline, it won't be long before we have no more domestic fleet. And once again, the fish off our shores, our resource, become available to foreign fishing interests. And all of the infrastructure on our waterfront and the legacy that has lasted since the inception of this city in the 1600s will be ruined. Fortunately, we live in a democracy. And in a democracy, we always have the power to make change. And fortunately, we have a United States Senator who wants to use that power on our behalf to continue that legacy, to support our fishing families, to support our working ports, and to say that we can work with the federal government to make sure that we sustain our stocks and feed this great nation and keep the story of Gloucester and New Bedford and Cape Cod and all of our ports alive and vibrant and prosperous. That's going to take some tough decisions, it's going to take some tough stands, and it's going to take dramatic action. And that's why I'm pleased that we have this United States Senator, because he knows how to do all of the above. I had the privilege of serving with him in the Massachusetts legislature. I know what he cares about. He cares about us. And that's what brings him to this port today, to talk with us about what we can do to right the ship, to change the course, and to prevent the Obama administration from destroying the jobs of families who just want to go to sea and earn a living as they have out of this port for hundreds of years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to introduce to you our United States Senator and my friend and our advocate, Scott Brown.
Well, first of all, Bruce, thank you for that warm warm-up and for letting people know how important this issue is. And I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy day to be here. As you can see, I'm joined by many fishermen, local elected officials. Mayor, thank you for your leadership. You spoke the truth the other day, and people are deeply appreciative of that effort. It came from the heart. I want to thank you for taking time, each and every one of you, for joining me today. And I'm here to call on President Barack Obama to fire NOAA Administrator James Lubchenco. As Bruce referenced, as the mayor has referenced, and many others before me have referenced, time is running out for our fishing communities. The job losses are accelerating. The Washington bureaucrats are not listening. They're out of touch, and we need to let them know what's going on here right away. Administrator Lubchenco has done nothing to stop this. In fact, she's made it worse. It's time for her to go. Just a few weeks ago, many of us here today were in a hearing in which we heard Administrator Lubchenco tell us in Boston that the fishing industry is on the rebound. And that statement demonstrated to me a total lack of understanding of the situation as it affects Gloucester, New Bedford, Fall River, and New England. I had hoped that she would stick around to get the real facts from many of the fishermen that are here and scientists that are here that were assembled to testify before her, but she had something better to do. And that sums up the NOAA's unwillingness to listen and removed any doubt from my mind about her suitability to regulate this imperiled industry. Fishermen should have a friend in the NOAA administration. Instead, what they found is unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats making decisions that affect this industry in a negative manner. They've acted as judge, jury, and executor of our fishing industry. That attitude of indifference starts with Administrator Lubchenco. There is a fundamental distrust. You know it, I know it. There's a fundamental distrust between NOAA and the fishermen, and rightfully so. And now I understand why. I've been working on this issue for over a year and a half. I hired somebody that you all know and trust. He's right here to make sure that I understood the issue and advocated properly for you. And after repeated requests, as an example, after repeated requests for documents, NOAA is still refusing me access to critical information. Under her leadership, NOAA routinely, you know it and I know it, they routinely stonewall Congress to thwart legitimate oversight. They still have not released the so-called fishing for money email that Judge Smartwood cited in a special master report. And he found credible evidence that NOAA ruined a Massachusetts fisherman just to extract an unjust fine. No, they're still keeping this document secret, which I consider a smoking gun and out of the sunlight. Again, under her leadership, they have had it redacted. Imagine that, they sent a document and it's all redacted as if it's a state national secret. Well, I urge each and every one of you here to let her know that that's unacceptable and ask for its immediate release. Now listen, I can tell you firsthand that Administrator Lubchenco is routinely non-responsible to legitimate, fair, and honest inquiries, and even seems to be annoyed. Seems to be annoyed at the fact that she's being bothered in the first place. For instance, she declined my invitation to attend a hearing that Senator Carper and I had to bring light at the ridiculous fines that have been imposed by NOAA on some of your very own. She declined the invitation. She sent a deputy who also left before the fishermen even had a chance to testify. It seems that NOAA leadership always has better things to do than to listen to the community's issues and interests. And what I found most troubling, however, is her continued support for the catch share management program that's decimating our fleet, and which, Mayor, you so eloquently pointed out, and rightly so. And don't be ashamed or afraid to speak the truth. That's why people like you. However, she thinks it's all is well and good and everything's going to get better, and this should be no surprise. Her background and her past affiliation with groups that have long advocated for reducing our fishing fleets gave clear indication where her priorities are. And let's be honest, the fishermen don't want more hush money. You know, just to keep quiet and go away and not talk about the things that are important, not fish anymore. They need the support of NOAA so they can stay in business, earning an honest living, getting out in the ocean and fishing and providing for our families, not only here in the Bay State, but throughout this great country. You know what I fear, folks? I fear that with her at the helm, NOAA won't stop until this statue right here is the last fisherman standing here in Massachusetts. I believe that in my heart. So I'm a firm believer that new leadership is needed, and leadership starts at the top. And I believe that she must immediately be fired. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming. I know there's some press here. I'm happy to take any questions on the side, but really, we have to do it now. I encourage the President to do it now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator. We're going to hear from just a couple more people before we break up. And before we do, I want to recognize, and I should have done it before, and I apologize, from the Gloucester Fishermen's Wives Association, one of the foremost advocates in the country for our commercial fishing industry, Angela Sanfilippo, was right here. So we're going to hear from just a couple of people very, very quickly, and the first one is our Mayor, Mayor Carolyn Kirk.
Thank you. I want to thank the Senator for coming out today and talking to us. This is such an important issue in the city of Gloucester. The reference that he was making was to a very viral video that I put together in 53 seconds pleading with Obama to quit killing jobs in the city of Gloucester with the fishing regulations. So that was the reference. You can find that on YouTube. So we've all come together. It's a bipartisan issue. We have Democrats, we have Republicans working together, and I think that is significant and really important. Fishermen don't know political parties. They want to go out and fish, make a living for their families. We want our port infrastructure to be preserved. We don't want to lose haul-out facilities, our ice house, our fuel shoreside facilities. We just will lose our port, and everything for Gloucester is at stake on this issue in the future of our city. So thank you, Senator. Thank you, everyone, for being here on behalf of the city of Gloucester.
Thank you very much, Mayor Kirk. And I want to call your attention to a very, very special individual who I just saw came out today. I know that he hasn't been feeling so well, but he is an icon in this city and in the commercial fishing industry, our former city councilor and an unyielding advocate for the industry, Gus Foote. Gus, thank you so much. Okay, we've got two more folks who are going to offer you thoughts. The next one serves a very important role from a number of fronts. She's the vice president of our city council. I believe she's also the vice president of the Gloucester Fishermen's Wives. And in addition to that, she works every day to make sure that our fishermen have health care when they can't get access to it because of the tragedies that have befallen them economically as the result of federal mismanagement. Ladies and gentlemen, Safathia Romeo.
Can you hear me, everyone? Good morning, Gloucester and friends. Welcome to this beautiful community. And I want to thank you very much, Senator Brown, for coming. Because you know what? We are united. If you notice, we have Republican, Democrats, Independents. But when I call Senator Tarr's office, or I call Senator Scott Brown's office, there is no Republican, there's no Independent, and there is no Democrats. There's an H. You know what that is? Humans. Humans. They take care of us. We do things behind the scenes to make sure that our fishermen in Gloucester are taken care of. When you talk to people across that bridge and they have no idea what is going on in this community, they have no idea what a fisherman is. They think you go on the boulevard, put your little rod over there and you catch a fish. That's not so. We have to educate them. How do you educate someone when you tell them, yes, they're self-employed, yes, they're unemployed, yes, they're self-employed, and yes, they're unemployed? With the timeshares, the days of season, all these changes that have been happening over the years. Thank you, Senator Brown, for sending someone to advocate for us and to educate you. Thank you very much. We know our golden boy, Senator Bruce Tarr, knows and advocates all the time. We are now asking Obama to hear our cries. I can't help in healthcare if you can't help them stay alive. We need an active fishing community. And that statue, along with that Fisherman's Wives statue, will be the only ones looking at that ocean for a fisherman to come in or their wives standing still, because it's no longer going to be if she stays in office. So we support you to say, out! It's time to leave. Hear the people, H for humans, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Safathia. And our last speaker is going to be Tina Jackson from the American Fishing Alliance. Please come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Bruce. And again, thank you to Senator Brown and everybody behind me. Tireless advocates. He is selfless. He is tireless. It's amazing the work that he has accomplished for the fishing industry. His call today is a call that's necessary. It's needed. She has to leave. Dr. Lubchenco has done nothing but decimate our fisheries. She has ignored Congress. She has ignored everything that we have tried to tell her. The fact that the fleet is so depleted, within 5 months of the new catch share program, 10% of the fleet owned 61% of the ground fish resource. That is unheard of. That has taken away from you as a public resource. That is your fish as Americans, as citizens. It is not mine. I fish for a living, and I have to tell you, it was never mine to own. It was mine to give to you and to help distribute healthy, food to the country. We import 86% of our seafood. 2% of that gets inspected. 70% of that gets rejected due to toxins, fertilizers. It's toxic fish. It comes from Asia, China, Thailand, Vietnam. They don't have an FDA there. What we need is someone who's the head of NOAA, who's going to support the fishing industry, who is going to continue to create jobs. We cannot have this going on. Dr. Lubchenco must go. Senator Brown has done the right thing today by calling for her resignation. The corruption at the level that it's at, the Obama administration has been asked time and time and time again to please help us, and we've been ignored. And we've been ignored at such a level that the job loss within our ports it is absolutely going to exasperate communities. If one looks at the catch share programs across the nation, up to 75% of the fleets, every time a fishery is involved in a catch share, up to 75% of the fleet gets lost. Specifically with the crab rationalization program in Alaska, I believe it was 3,400 boats they had prior to catch shares. Today they have 1,500. That's a huge loss. For every one person that works on the water, you've got 6.6 land jobs attached to that one person. National Marine Fisheries has 4 people for every one person that works on the water. And it's my understanding, Senator Brown, that they just hired another 2,000 people under NOAA. 2,000 more people. You're eliminating the very people that you're overseeing. Where is the sanity in that? So, you know, the budget problems that we have in the world today, we cannot, in the country today, we can't allow to have one more single job lost in any of our ports. Our communities depend on it in every shape and form. So thank God for Senator Brown. I have to tell you, I'm from Rhode Island, and he extends his hand. His office extends their hand to Rhode Island and all of New England on a regular basis. He is tireless. He is selfless. He is definitely a community person. And he knows what we need, and it's not just the fishing industry, it's all the problems that we have in this country today. This man has impressed me beyond a level that, and I don't impress easy, trust me when I tell you. I have a lot of respect for Senator Brown and for all the people behind me, Mayor Kirk and Senator Tarr, and thank you very much for having us today. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody being here. Have a great rest of your weekend. Go do your honey-do list. I'm going to go and speak to the folks here who want to learn more about what we're doing. And Mayor, councilors, thank you, and God bless.